this is Joycey.
And Blake,
And
welcome to Savagely Scaled. In this episode, we will provide you with a glimpse of current and relevant CrossFit athletes in the sport, particularly the ones that Joycey and I most enjoy seeing. So, buckle up for
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to our next episode. And for that, I get to present the word of the day.
You go, Blake.
I think I might find a little chime that goes with it too.
Right?
Word of the day, word of the day, word of the day,
And it's a
word
good
of the
one.
day. This episode's word of the day is chipper. It is a sequence of movements completed one after the other. You generally work through the sequence, chipping away at each one. So these are my favorite workouts because usually you don't see what you just did again.
That's true, yeah.
Usually. There are some that turn into a chipper AMRAP, which I can't stand because I like chipping away at things.
Right.
So this could be the same amount of reps, like 10, 10, 10, or it could be where it's 60 calories on the row, 50 wall balls, 40 air squats, 30 cleans, 20 toes to bar, and 10 shuttle sprints. And then you're done.
That's right.
And it
Done
kind of
and quick.
it goes into where you can have a chipper for time, which was last episode. So if you've hit bingo yet, please let us know. Contact us.
Right? Just
You
chipping
get
away at those bingo
You get a
squares.
little extra word of the day bonus thing from us.
I know. Look at your vocabulary.
I know.
Expanding that mind.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
You too. Right. Yeah.
Fine. So what is our summary for what the episode's going to be today, Joycey?
Anyway, so as we've mentioned, this is kind of like a part 2 to our previous episode. So what we're going to do here is kind of continue to dig deeper into what is the games, looking primarily at the male participants of the individual category of the games. As we mentioned before, there's a lot of amazing athletes to get to know, but Blake and I are going to focus on some of our tops and also just speak to some of their strengths. So let's get started and take a look at some of our top athletes here. So one of the first I want to speak to is Justin Medeiros, who is currently the 13th fittest man on earth. He is a 24-year-old American CrossFit athlete from California, and the winner of the games back in 2021 and 2022. He did start his career as a wrestler and actually competed in the California Interscholastic State Wrestling Championship, which is really impressive. But he didn't begin his CrossFit career until he was a teenager in the 16 to 17 age division in 2016. He did finish 19th there, but he did fail to reach the games that year. However, in 2020, that's when he made his debut, and on his debut year, he got Rookie of the Year, and he also finished third after Matt Frazier, who was first, and I think that was his last year. And I was just like, man, what a way to...
Was that when they did it on the ranch?
I believe so, but it was just kind of interesting. I think that was the year that Matt was just like, oh man, who is this kid and what's going to happen with him? Because he came in his rookie year and got third. Like, that's an amazing accomplishment. But he's definitely one to look at. I feel like every time he goes into his workouts, the mullet is just a must. That's like his signature hairdo, and everyone recognizes him for that. But I think like when he tackles his workouts, his lifts are just so perfect. Every time I see him do something, his form is like so precise. And I do like to see his little mullet hair, curly hair wave around when he's doing like, he's just so funny too when it comes to interviews. So much personality there. But
did you watch one of his Instagram posts where he was working out with his dog?
No, I missed it.
And so he's doing box jumps, and his dog just crawls on top of the box, and he's like aiming to not jump on the dog, but the dog is basically all over the box.
Man.
And he's
sounds
just
like my dog.
Yeah, and he's just waiting for his owner. And I think his dog is a lab.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Speaks to like just his type of personality, I feel.
Yeah, it's
That's
either a
cute.
lab or a golden retriever, but I'm going to lean more towards lab.
Aw.
And it was just so cute. He would just like look up at him as he's doing box jumps, and then when he would go to a different area, and then as he comes back, and I was like, "Oh, how cute!"
That is pretty sweet. I do
Yeah,
have my dogs.
I completely
hang out with
stopped
Me too.
watching him work out.
You're like, I want to watch the dog.
But yeah, the dog is really cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do love that. I do have my dogs watch me work out sometimes when I work out at home, but they do get in the way sometimes.
I know. I was like,
Especially when you're on the floor, they're like, "Oh, cuddle time."
Yeah.
You're like, "No, I'm trying to do
I'm
some-"
like, bro, move off the box.
Yeah,
Don't
they're-
let. I know he's not going to try and jump on you, but you
Right.
can see that
But I
he's
love
doing
you.
something. Yeah.
Lift heavier. That's what I need.
He needs to
Like
do
a bark,
Yeah.
like just more weight.
He needs to do a reel when his dog's judging him or
Right?
something.
That'd be
Or,
so
or
hilarious.
you should do it with Kylo or Jenny.
He would be. Kylo would be perfect.
You'd be like,
I can see
"More
Jenny be
weight."
the police with the baton.
Yes.
Like, no rep.
No rep.
She's like, "Oh, did you break parallel? No, because I'm way down here and I
Yep.
could see it all. I'm a dachshund."
Yeah. And Kylo's like,
Who
horrible form.
cares?
When are we going to eat?
Oh, yep.
Already got the pre-workout going.
He's like, I'll count it as a rep if you give me a treat. Oh man. Anyways, how about you, Blake? What's one of your favorite men out there?
So one of the tops that I like to watch is Pat Bellner. So in the same year that I started watching CrossFit and got enthused by Cara Saunders is the same year that I was watching Pat Bellner. And just to see like when the announcers would announce some of these guys, and I did not know anything. So again, I picked Cara Saunders because she looked like my height, which she wasn't. And then I picked Pat Bellner because he had red hair.
I love Pat Bellner.
And I was like, he seems like a kooky guy.
He is.
And like pretty awesome, actually.
And a great dad. I follow him on Instagram.
Yes. Very sad that I found out that he was married and had children.
Oh.
Because
Was that your gym crush?
Yeah.
Oh. Could have had your ginger babies.
I was married already by that time. You never know. You know how passes exist.
Chris, you're great. We still love you.
Yes.
You're like, but in my dreams, it's Pat.
But it's nice to see again like a dad and
Yes.
having that and his priorities about being a dad and you know blah blah that nice stuff.
Don't be jealous.
I know, very very. But he's been in the games 7 times.
Yeah, a long time actually.
He's had 3 second places, 2 third places. Actually, at the age of 8, which again, if I was a complete stalker of this guy, then yeah, we'd be questioned. I just found this out while I was looking up.
Right.
That at the age of 8, he was actually in gymnastics, lacrosse, and rugby. And he actually retired from gymnastics in 2010 and started studying to be a chiropractor.
What?
And that's when he started going into CrossFit.
Wow.
And his intro to CrossFit, again, was like Cara Saunders was in 2012.
Man of many talents.
Right? A lot of these people, sometimes I'm like, how did you have the life to do it? Because
It's
nowadays,
impressive.
they're like training them to, the younger ones, you can go to school, but you guys like train hours in the gym, like do their strength sessions, and then
Right.
they do their actual workouts, and then they do their accessory work. And it's like to maintain a life like that is
Yeah.
hard to do, and it becomes your job as well.
Is that Pat Vellner on your screensaver?
Oh, stop it. If you squint, it's actually my husband. No, just kidding. You guys, my screensaver are my kids. It's my little children. So how dare you?
You know you secretly
And
want.
even when you open it up, it's not even Pat or my husband.
Why are we even discussing this? Don't even worry about it. You
No,
don't need to prove
no,
anything to
I'm
me.
proving it because it's my dog that passed away, Madison. Haven't even changed
She has
it
a
to.
picture saved in there, though.
I haven't even changed
okay.
it to Deacon.
It's okay. I
Poor
have a picture
Deacon.
saved too. It's
Oh,
not
yeah?
Pat Vellner, though. Anyways,
Who is it?
don't worry about it.
Why would you bring it up and not tell me? Like all of our viewers are.
We'll
wanting
talk
to
about him
know.
soon.
All of our 2 viewers want to know.
We're gonna talk about him soon. Don't worry.
But yeah, that's my first pick of the menses.
Nice.
Yeah, who's
Well,
your second?
Yeah, the other one I was really happy and excited to really hear his story and actually see him participate.
If you were happy and excited, how come he wasn't your first?
Oh man!
Tonight I am on a roll with all kinds of horribleness.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey! I could have options. I'm
Simmer
single. I'm
down.
single here. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Keeping my options open.
Sure. Well, I think Medeiros is taken.
Yep. So is Roman. So it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's right, because he was a baby.
All these men are taken. It's okay. It's all good. But yeah, Roman Krenikov is one that I really want to talk about. He is a 28-year-old Russian competitor and current third fittest man on earth. But what an underdog story this man has. Oh my God. So he qualified for the games year after year, literally from 2018 until 2022. So for 4 years straight, he was making it to the games, pretty much trying to participate and qualifying, but was unable to until 2022, where he finally got a visa to come to the U.S. And participate, and he got second place when he did. So honestly, the first thing I think of is if he had come in back in 2018, like where could he have been now? I mean,
oh my gosh, yes, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's and it's kind of like, man, I feel like this man has been cheated of his possible potential. I mean, he's killing it, but those 4 years, that's a big amount of time to just continue fighting and continuing to like apply yourself, and just knowing that year after year you can't participate. That's just heartbreaking. And coming in these past 2 years and just squashing the competition the way he did, I feel like this man, you know, has to be recognized for just the grit that he has and being able to do the workouts that he does. I mean, he has a translator with him at the games because he doesn't understand English fully, and he just started to kind of learn. But like coming into a country he doesn't know, coming in not knowing the language, and still showing up and saying, I'm going to give my best, do my best, learn everything I possibly can, and show them what I can do is absolutely amazing. And we have to talk about last year's CrossFit Games.
Yes.
Like I want to say the second to last workout, he got injured.
Yeah, that was the one where they had to toss those, like the weight got heavier, and they were over those wooden rails.
That's right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to get over them, so they had to toss the weight,
and
then they had to get themselves. But the weight got heavier as they were doing it, and then they had to run back and get some and do another work. And I think it was when he jumped over, he had jumped and landed one of the sandbags. He had landed wrong.
Oh man, yeah, it was rough.
Yes,
and he still decided, like, you know, I have this injury, I have one more workout to go, and people were kind of advising him like, hey, maybe you should just step aside on this one. And he was like, I'm still gonna do it, and he did. And although he finished last, you know, with a limping leg, he still showed up and pretty much was just like, I'm gonna do my best and demolish, and he did. And I think that just speaks too much to his character as a person and as an athlete.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, they had that rope pull.
Oh yeah.
Which I was like, okay, well, if he can sit and do that, but then they had, what was it? Was it bike before?
Mm-hmm.
And then they had double unders.
That's what I was gonna say, jumping rope. Yeah, and I was like,
dang,
with one leg.
Imagine. And was it weighted jump rope?
I'm not 100%, but I remember it was jump rope, and I was like, how? Like, and I was just like, man, it's like
he just did it like one at a time, or when he could.
And, but the energy, the people, everyone was just rooting for him, and like it was just a beautiful thing to see, and it speaks again to the community. You know?
It was sad because he was gonna win.
He was. I would say he probably
because he was right there. Or get second.
My heart.
Yeah, and I'm like. But there was a place where I thought that because Brett Fikowski was right there too.
He was.
So like for him to keep trying to get those reps in and get those points in, knowing, and to even think what Brett Fikowski was thinking, like, oh well, if I have this in the bag, I could do this. And those two to be like, okay, if I don't do this, there's a possibility that
I lose it all.
Yes. And if I don't do this fast enough, then I won't get enough points. It's a very it's a math game too, but my heart went out for him to be like, man, like,
just have to admire the man. It's like, man, gosh, like, I'm such a baby.
I'm like, oh, this hurts so much. Why did I do this? I'm so tired, and it keep telling me that we're almost done. I kid you not, like when people say 90 seconds, I'm like, please don't tell me that, because it's a minute and 30 seconds.
It's long. It feels long.
It's like football. A minute and 30 seconds.
Maybe
tell me
20.
Yeah.
20 feels nice. But I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But going from that nice story
to my boo.
Jeez.
Let's talk about my boo.
My last guy that I'm going to talk
It was
about.
all summer.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, is Jeffrey Adler. And this is the guy who won first last year.
Yeah.
So he's our champ. He began CrossFit in 2015. He was a finalist in 2020, and that's when he placed 5th. In the Rogue Invitational for year 21 and 22, he placed 3rd. And in the games of 2022, he placed 5th. So he has some good placements within these years. His coach is actually his fiance.
Oh.
I don't know if they got married yet. Not
They're
sure.
engaged.
Yeah. And they trained together. And she got her level 1 coach to help train him. And she actually then decided to get her level 2 and then proceed to get her level 3, which level 3 and level 4 are very, very hard courses to pass. And the top notch pass it. But they're just so cute. And her name is Caroline Lambre.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yes.
It says they co-founded a CrossFit gym in Montreal.
They did it together.
Power couple.
And they used to coach, and he decided that he was trying to get this. She does his programming and everything. She's done his programming from the start, which was awesome. And it's just nice to see that couple.
See, I want a partner who does that for me.
I think most of our couples at our gyms like to work out separately.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There
I just don't like having your partner judge. Yeah. No, you guys are really proactive at that. Like, I remember when that happened too. They're like, we're not going to have your spouse judge you. We're just going to, put someone else. I'm like, good idea. Good idea.
Yeah, especially when we host comps. It's like, okay, well, we're going to put you. Or we have the ones that she's a physical therapist and she'd probably tell her husband, nope, not going to lift that.
That's... Yeah,
but I also told him, I was like, we're not lifting that other one. And he's like, no, I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, okay. Good.
You're like, I'm just a coach, not a mom.
Your wife would kill me.
Yep.
But I want to see if he can hold this, because after Matt, who's been carrying it, like the men, there's not usually those
like
years.
Consistent.
Yes.
Like, that's a good point.
And the women were doing that too. Like it was like Katrin had it a couple times.
That's right.
Camilla LeBlanc had it a couple times, which is back in the day. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
No, she moved on to
hence why we have a rookie in the podcast and a veteran, because you know way more.
Yeah, she moved on to so she moved on to competing in different things for lifting and things like that.
But I mean, Matt Frazier and like you said, Tia Toomey are the only people in history who have won the games 5 times.
Yeah. Because Rich Froning, he won it, and then his team back to back.
Yeah.
Last year was the first year that his team, and he was not on it.
That's true. Cool.
Ben Smith won a couple years ago.
Like,
Alex Smith. Alex Smith is so the Panchik have brothers.
I have heard about
and
the Panchik
a sister that do CrossFit. The Smiths, all 3 Smith brothers do CrossFit too.
That's cool. Family members just forming like amazing CrossFit,
and see,
teams. There's
so many people. There's so many people in the world, but there's so many athletes. Tia Toomey, we've talked about. There's Emma Lawson, Emma Carey, Colton Mertens, who was another one who used to wear the mullet.
That's right.
But stopped. Nick Matthew, who wears the crop top. He can squat heavy. A good squatter. Alex Gazan.
Good at jump rope too.
Yes. Alexis Raptis. You have Brent Fikowski, which is like the Canadian, another one with Pat and Adler. Because those are the 3 Canadian boys that I like to watch.
And Icelandics.
Right? Domination of things.
Yep.
But yeah, there's so many people to watch that you can pick and choose from. There's upcomers.
Yes, there's always rookies that come in that you're just like, who is that?
Olivia Kerfsetter's one, because she went from teens and winning teens over and over to now individual.
That's true.
Yeah.
So many athletes. Yeah, and like Blake said, some are amazing at weightlifting. Some of them are great at gymnastics. Some of them are very well-rounded. There's just a great mix. And I think there's always those that just connect with you a little bit to the deeper level, like you said, with, some that you're just like, man, their underdog story just, I resonate with, or maybe you share a birthday with one of them or something, and it's, there's those special connections you make with certain athletes. So we're excited to hear which athletes you connect with the most or you just enjoy and love to see.
So are you ready for the news?
I am.
All right, news time. All right. This one is going to be looking at an affiliate. This affiliate is CrossFit Waukee. And why I wanted to talk about them was because they give back to the community. They've been giving back since 2012. And this is when a couple of their members were diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. They've given thousands to many of charities since opening in 2012.
Wow.
They've given to the cystic fibrosis, breast cancer. They also work at other things outside of the CrossFit gym and in the community that they live in.
It's amazing.
And help run 5Ks, help with events, in raising money for causes. And the gym owner, he's owned the gym for 13 years.
Wow.
And most of his members have been with him for a decade or more. It really puts importance in the community. So he's building not only the inside of his affiliate community and the outside to be there and to be like, hey, we can be a helping hand.
Right.
So I really, really like that. If you want to look more into that story and into CrossFit Waukee, that is going to be on a Morning Chalk-Up article.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's a very heartwarming story.
lighthearted.
Yeah. I think that's like a really good, like, beautiful thing that even our gym does too, and that, like, not only do they sponsor their own kind of events and things, but even our gym encourages us to participate or, go to certain events. Like, we have a yoga studio in town, and our coach is always like, oh, look, you can get a discount, go participate, go out there and, support our local, whether it's a store, whether it's a business. Like, we're very proactive in
the Girl Scout that came out for our last
our
competition.
event.
So they sponsored her a certain amount of dollars to actually give Girl Scouts to the less fortunate or to whoever they wanted in town who, so it was nice for our gym to do that. We've also helped with a couple of the athletes that are in Havasu or next door to us in, like, buying their merch to get them to Wadapalooza or to the games.
That's true.
So the gym really believes in helping people outside and being better each and every day.
That's true. Shout out to Coach Chris in our gym for doing that, but also to coaches everywhere for, taking the time to dedicate themselves not only to their gym, but to the community that they serve. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So we're just glad to, to be here with all of y'all, to be able to share our insight, our perspective, and particularly in this episode, to share a few of the male athletes that we think are worth watching these upcoming games. But again, look them up, whether it's on YouTube, CrossFit.com, any kind of social media. They're, again, amazing competitors. They have amazing videos online where they show you doing different moves and CrossFit activities. So feel free to reach out to them. But thank you, guys.
Hey, guys, if you have any questions about this thing called CrossFit, please let us know. Again, we don't claim to be the elites. I mean, come on, only in our mind. Or claim to know all. These are just our standards, views, and what we think about this sport. So if you feel like this is your swig of pre-workout, please subscribe, follow, and leave a review. And a big thank you to my co-host, Joycey. This episode was written by both of us and edited by us. And a shout out to you guys for listening. Music is off of SoundCloud and Upbeats. Findings of this episode are from games.crossfit.com, Wikipedia, Morning Chalk-Up, Fitness Volt, and barbend.com.
Okay, I'm ready this time.
And until we meet at the whiteboard again, bye!
Nailed it.